All right, so let's start off with trying to identify your union as to whether it was Stanley made or union made. So when you're looking on eBay, you're looking on Facebook Marketplace, you're looking on wherever you're looking, you're at a local tool show, flea market, whatever, you're trying to determine, is your X-Plane, the X-Plane you're looking at, is it made by Stanley or is it made by Union? So for the guys that are Union collectors, this obviously matters. For the guys that just want a user plane, the Stanley made plane works just as good as the Union made plane. And in fact, the Type 4 is probably the best out of all of them for a couple of different features, and I'll show you what they are here in a second. So, let's start off with the Stanley made. Identifiers. From a distance, from a mile away, the best identifiers is this front nut is smaller. It's going to look like this, right? Versus your Union model is going to have a larger nut. As you can see here, it's a larger nut, bigger space in there, a little softer knurling. There's a little bit of a roll chamfer here and here. It's a softer look. These look better. Now, good news. You can buy these on unionmfgco.com and they will fit the Stanley plane. So if you like that look, you can have it on the Stanley. Your knob. Look right here. No bead. That's straight up Stanley. That is a Stanley number 3 knob. And this is an X3. So you know, X3. That tote. The shape. 100% Stanley. Right? Now, this is a Type 4. This is the one that I recommend you buy for a user. These are going to run the least amount of money as well, because collectors are going to go after the earlier ones. So let's take this front knob off. Just pop this knob off here. You're going to notice something right off the bat that Stanley did a lot of. One-piece screw. One-piece screw. Chamfered head. Rounded top. To mimic the rounded top on the earlier Unions. But it's a one-piece screw. One-piece steel screw. Your knob, again, looks Stanley. Right? The other key importance is the knob and tote are fastened by a 1220 pitch screw. Union did not use a 1220 pitch screw. The irons are still thick. X-planes required a thick iron. And I'll explain that in just a second. But X-planes required a thicker iron. If you find a thin iron, this is Union Plane Co. in it, and it's in an X-plane, Flipper says, doesn't go, doesn't belong. It's not supposed to be there. Now, again, cool thing, right? So this is a Type 4. All right, Type 4. There's your screw for your cap. This one over here is a Type 1. Let's take Type 1. And looky there. Fits. And likes fin. Little trick to know that. Guys that are trying to pass off Type 4s, Type 3s, as Type 1s, Type 2s, they're going to replace this nut. Don't fall for the tricks. There's a lot of guys out there that are absolutely do not give a crap about tools. They just care about money. And you guys know who I'm talking about. There's a whole crew of them that just don't care about tools. At least not like we do, right? And you guys got to know, I like Union or I wouldn't have been crazy enough to do what I do. All right. Put this all back together. That's how parts get lost if you don't. Your chip breaker. Different. This will not fit a Bailey pattern Stanley. Let me tell you why. This little guy right here is down low. On a Bailey pattern, it's up high. Because this is down low. Bailey pattern, up high. Now, Type 4, one of the things, there's actually two things right in the same region here that make this a superior plane to the, as far as users go. in comparison to the Type 1, Type 2. First one is this right here is attached by a screw. Now, a lot of guys, why the hell would you want something attached by a screw? Why would you want the lateral attached by a screw? Well, I'll tell you why. You see here? This is thicker. You probably can't see it all that well, but just take my word for it. The bridge across here is much thicker on the last version of the X-plane. This is much thicker. This is threaded, obviously, to take the screw. On the earlier unions, you will find them with broken bridges because they were too thin. I don't know why Union did that, but they were too thin, and these are peened on. Type 1s, you don't believe me, ask Adam Pace. Type 1s, they weren't able to get a good purchase to peen, and these end up wobbling and sometimes come off. So the fact that it's screwed in place allows you to adjust the tension on that lateral. It's a good thing for a user, okay? So that's a Type 4. The very last one made, which is the Type 4, up until we release ours, and that'll be a Type 5. The Type 4 is a screw-on lateral. That's the easiest identification. And you'll tighten that all the way down. The cool thing about these are, you can crank that sucker down as much as you want. Here, let me give this a real tug. All right, that's on there, really good. Oh, now it's perfect. Because it loosens the screw up just a nut hair and allows it to go back and forth. So you're good, and the screw stays. So good there. All right. Now, your nut, you can tell this is early or late. On the Stanleys, has a very small chamfer right there. Very, very small chamfer right there on the edge. On the Unions, the chamfer is a lot bigger. And the replacements will have the larger chamfer because, again, everything we're going for is traditional Union. See, larger chamfer right there. Much bigger chamfer. All right. That will fit. Now, I'll go ahead and go over here to the Type 1. We'll talk about what's going on with our Type 1 over here. So Type 1, 4 1/4. Got the adjustable mouth. It is a G. G is grooved in Union language. It's not C. You've got a patent date up here on the top of the iron there. That's proper to this plane. You have railroad tracks going across the back here. Those railroad tracks are to grip the nut there. This is peened. This is peened in place. And again, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is much thinner right here. This area is much, much thinner. And these tend to wiggle. And this actually already has a little bit of wiggle to it. It's just what happens. Okay? Your lock nuts are going to have a date in them in the inside here, or it'll say patent pinned. And the patent pinned is going to be your Type 1A, and then of course the date's a Type 1B. So, and this one is a Type 1B. All right, now on to adjustments. Now I'm not going to show the adjustments on the X4 1/4 because it's, you know, special. It's got the adjustable mouth. It's the only version that Union originally released with an adjustable mouth. The new planes from us, the new Union planes, will actually all be adjustable mouth except for the X0. The X0A will have an adjustable mouth. That's the one that's currently up for pre-order, and it will be started within weeks. We're literally starting that within weeks. That plane will have an adjustable mouth, but it's limited to the pre-orders. There won't be any more after that. Unless I decide to do another run later down the road, and there will be differences between the first and the second. So, anyways, another giveaway, by the way, wood, early, Union made, Longhorn, beautiful, graceful. New planes will be like this. Your balloon knob, nice big fat knob on it. Union's famous for it. The new planes also have that as well. So, all right, adjustments. What makes an X plane a superior plane? I'm going to go through this thing quickly. Go through all the little details. So let's start from the core. A plane is only as good as its frog. Okay? A plane is only good as its seating surface, right? This is a chisel. It's being held at a specific angle. If that chisel is allowed to wiggle around, it's going to chatter in the cut. Right? You want something that is absolutely firm as hell. The firmer, the better. Okay? You can't get any more firm than an integral frog. There are no screws inside of this frog to take this frog out. So you don't have to tune the frog to mate with the frog seat, because there is no frog seat. It's all one piece. You got your two vertical ribs here and a bridge. You're looking at a tuning fork, guys. That's effectively a tuning fork. You have support from the top all the way down into that mouth opening. All the way down. All the way up from here, all the way down. If that iron, which is thicker, develops any chatter, it's going to be sucked up by the body of the plane. So the chatter reduction is insane. Thicker iron helps with the chatter. The fact that it's only hardened up to there, which is, Stanley has that as well. It's only hardened from here down. Hardened metal likes to reverberate louder. So take a piece of tool steel that's been hardened, hit it with a hammer, and you'll hear a ding, really loud, reverberating, high harmonics, ding. If you hit annealed steel or softer steel, you hear thunk. You don't get the reverberation like you do. So as the chatter travels up, which it will, the chatter travels up the blade, it'll slowly be deadened as it goes through here. Now, you have support right in the middle, all the way up the blade effectively, on this frog. It's supported all the way up in a loose spot. So when you crank that nut down, it's shoving it against that integral frog. Your rigidity is absolutely insane. It's 10 times. Seriously. Your cheeks, you got pins here. It's riding on the pins. This is actually tapered slightly. These are tapered ever so slightly. I think it's about a 15 thousandths taper on each side to the back. I have to check my notes, but there's a little bit of taper to the back. And what that does is it allows this guy to go all the way down into the body and support all the way across the iron. Instead of being straight and then having all this open air up the top, it supports the plane all the way down in a tapered angle. Okay? You have a solid, nice solid, very solid lever cap. It's stubby here, right? Very stubby here, and a lot of meat. The new ones will actually have more meat back here. There would be a lot more meat back here. I don't want any kind of flex. I want it to really grab down on there. The chip breakers. There's no hump. If you look here, which you probably can't see that, there is very little gap right in there. Any gap is like a drum. You hit a drum, echo, 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 echo. It moves and transfers harmonics. This is going to reduce the harmonics. Now, you guys understand that I'm talking about this on a stupidly nerded level. I'm really nerding out here. Does it make that much of a difference? Maybe. If you're taking a really fine shaving, maybe. It might actually make it that much of a difference. So, rigidity king. It's just pretty much all you need to know there. It's a rigidity king. Now, let's talk about the adjustments, the depth adjustment. This is something that you will find in no other plane made by Stanley or Bailey pattern, or you will not find it on a Bailey pattern. All right. Well, actually, let's talk about two things. Look at your lateral adjustment here, right? On a Stanley, when you move this lateral to the left, the iron goes to the right. when you move the lateral to the right, the iron goes to the left. See what happens with the union. Right, left. I don't know about you. That just makes more sense to me. I want the right side of the cut, the right side of this cut, to go deeper. Just move it right, because that's the side I need to go deeper. When I go left, that's the side that goes deeper. Common sense. All right, now, let's talk about our depth. The beauty of the X-plane, one of the biggest assets to the X-plane, outside of the rigidity, are these nuts right here. Right? These nuts move. If you need to take a real deep drop, you always want to loosen that up a little bit. Real deep drop, look how fast I can move the blade from a high position to a low position. It's effectively a trigger mechanism. Look at that. I can just bounce it back and forth. So, go to my wood, right? Go all the way down. Hold it tight. Touch the wood. Bring the bottom nut up. Okay? Top nut down. Now, let me tighten this up a little bit. Now, my blade is just barely sticking out at this point. That was quick. Now, let's just say I want to take a little bit less of a cut, right? Now, the lever goes up, pushes down, right? Up is down. Down, or actually I should say up is in, down is back, right? So I want to take a little less of a cut. I want to go back, right? I'm going to take this bottom nut, quarter turn, quarter turn. I probably just moved that blade about 1/1000th of an inch. And I didn't have to chase a wheel back and forth. I know all you guys out there that you know, you have a lot of Stanleys, and they're good planes. I'm not knocking them. They're good planes. But you've all had that frustration. Spin, 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 spin. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit firm. A little bit more. Crap, it's too deep. Spin, 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 spin the opposite direction. I can finally feel something. Back up a little bit. All right, it's cutting good. But you want your nut forward for support. Spin, 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 spin. Go all the way down until it touches. Cut again. Now I'm too deep again. You don't have that problem with an X-plane, right? You bump it. Turn it a little bit. Turn, quarter turn. Chase it. You're literally micro-adjusting how far that iron goes back. And I'm still, I can feel it here on the tabletop. I'm still literally taking a little bit, and this thing's dull, by the way. I'm still taking a little bit of a shaving here. It's just taking a micro shaving. So now again, if I want to take a little bit less, quarter turn, quarter turn. Touch. You don't have to crank these way down. Just touch. Nice and firm. This isn't going anywhere. Because of the way the frog is configured. Again, I'm still taking a micro cut. Because it's only moving like 1/1000th of an inch. So instead of having the issue of chasing it and chasing it and chasing it, solves the problem. So, benefits, in my eyes. Again, one person's opinion versus another, and I'm a little bit biased, obviously. I like the fact that I know which direction the iron's going without kind of calculating it, right? As far as your depth goes, I don't have to sit here and dick around with it like this and stare down the sole. I get it on my piece of wood, and I can just bump this guy. Go. Bump it a little bit more. Go. Bump it a little bit more. Go. Again, you're loose to set up the plane to start with. Let's back this all off again. Show you again. Run these back. I got free movement. Right? Free movement. This is loose. You want a little bit tighter than that because it will affect the depth. You have free movement there, right? Run this down till you're touching your wood. Run your nut up. Just touch it. Run it down until it touches, and then turn that bottom nut. One more micro turn. Now I'm kind of where I need to be. I'm kind of right where I need to be at this point, right? So, back it off. Come up. That's going a little deeper. I don't want to do that. So, back it off. Go down. Now, a lot of guys like to chase the wheel as they go. You could still do that with an X-plane, right? Because up means up on the lever means in, right? So, leave it a little loose at the top, up here, right? Take your finger and run until you feel it start to grab. Ah, there it goes, starting to grab. Back it off a 16th of a turn. Tighten it down. Now, I'm already taking a whisper of a shaving, just doing that. That was a lot faster. So, couple, rigidity, stupid rigidity. I mean, stupidly rigid. Common sense adjustment here. And a micro adjustment, you can't go wrong. So, for all those guys out there that are curious as to why I like X-planes, why X-planes are so talked about, or as Rick Perez said, there's a lot of hubbub about them. Well, the reason people like them is because they work well. They work well. They're superior in a lot of regards. So, anyways, if you ever have a question about a Union X-plane, or a Union plane for that matter, let me know. A little side note, adjustable mouth, the X4 1/4. Union made them to where they're like everybody else's, right? You just kind of bump them back and forth and then lock them where you want them, and your mouth's adjustable however you want it. The new planes, I have a little surprise in them. Makes this a lot more efficient. Anyways, I think we're good. We're done. If anybody has any questions, again, simple plane. That's why it didn't take too long. Anybody has any questions, reach out to me. PM me, DM me, whatever you need. Get a hold of me. You can ask anybody. I'm very, very easily accessible, and I will stay that way because I like the planes. I like talking about the planes. I'll talk your ear off. It's what happens with these. So, anyways, have fun, guys. We'll chat soon. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll call this the Sunday Fun Day just for giggles. So, have fun.